First 100 days, Trump, what do you give him?
Overall, first 100 days, I give it a C+.
C+. C, B-, C-.
Those were the gentlemen over at the Patrick Bet-David podcast, huge Trump supporters who are willing to call Trump out when they don't believe he is doing a good job in keeping true to his promises and actually delivering for his voters. So on Tuesday, the hosts basically gave him poor grades for his first 100 days in office, Cenk.
Yeah, they did, which is weird because I was told that they would never break from Trump, but here they are giving him C-. So that must not be true. There must be a different reality. Oh, right, no, that actually did happen. Now, guys, that doesn't mean that they've turned on Trump and they're gonna tell everybody to vote for Kamala Harris. Okay? They're on the right. That's not the question. The question is, are they going to be honest about Trump's downside?
Exactly, and you know what? I want to do stories like this so I can help people understand there is a distinction between the hacks, and those hacks exist. You know, people like Carrie Lake talking about how Trump deserves an A+ for his first 100 days. And then there are people who are honest. And in this case, you have the Patrick Bet-David podcast and members within that podcast, taking a good hard look at the first 100 days and speaking truth in regard to what they liked Trump for, what they wanted Trump to do, and whether or not Trump is actually delivering on those promises. So let's start with Tom Ellsworth and Adam Sosnick, who actually took issue with how Trump has been handling the economy.
An A- on the plan, but a C- on the execution. I thought he got too many things going at once, picking on the Fed Powell, but I gave the plan an A, but the execution got messy.
I thought that the first, month was awesome. He was signing all these executive orders, he's doing his thing. And then April 2nd, Liberation Day, where he liberated America of like $5 trillion worth of wealth. And nobody saw it coming. So I don't understand the methodology for what he was doing with Liberation Day.
So the Trump tariffs, I think, have really served as a breaking point for the more honest Trump supporters who really did think that Trump 2.0 would be as good for the economy as Trump 1.0, but obviously that has not come to fruition, at least not yet. In fact, we haven't even really suffered the true consequences of this tariff war yet. And the LA port is reporting that pretty soon they're going to experience a very significant decline in products coming into the port, which will lead to some real trouble at grocery stores and real trouble for American consumers who are looking to buy certain products that are now going to be slapped with massive tariffs.
Yes, so look, I've gone on that show a couple of times and I've agreed and disagreed with them on a number of things. So I know that they actually use their minds and they're on the right, and so we mainly disagree, right? But they have internal fights. Vinnie and Adam, big fight on Israel. There's a lot that Adam is more on our side than the rest usually, but not on Israel, right? Oh, you know why? Because they're human and they have different opinions. Wow, okay, so that's like, these days you have to explain that to folks. Anyway, but Adam said nobody saw it coming. Well, let's be fair, we saw it coming, right? So no one believed that Trump would do the crazy things that he said he would do if they were on the right. Right? On the right, they were like, oh, he's trolling, he's this, he's that. He's not really gonna do tariffs. He's actually a brilliant strategist. And I was like, I don't think so, I think he's a dum-dum.
I have to speak for myself because I didn't see it coming. I didn't. I actually thought that Trump's tariffs on China were smart, targeted, and obviously were good enough for Biden to want to keep in place and even expand upon. I thought that Trump was going to be doing similar things in his second term, but no, he's totally lost it.
No, I thought he would be unhinged because I know Trump, he's unhinged. He's not a smart guy, never has been, never will be. He's a child. I mean, you could tell from the truth. I mean, guys, there's this great man myth that we were all taught when we were kids in the American educational system, like George Washington is a great man. You could never be like George Washington, and on with all the great men. No, they're all human beings, right? And they were in a situation, etc. Now, that's why they put Trump into that category. He was president of the United States. So even though you're seeing with your own eyes his true social posts that are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You go, I know, but great man, he's president, he must have a different strategy. No, he doesn't have a different strategy. He's not bright at all. So the tariff thing real quick is, in the 1890s, we had tariffs and we had no income tax. So I think we can get rid of the income tax if we have tariffs. Brother, that was the 1890s. And like every rational person knows that today is not the 1890s and you can't apply that old rule. But Trump is not rational. Look, the number one thing that people underestimate about Trump is how deeply unintelligent he is. And if you say, oh yeah, what about the Democrats who lost to him? I go, yeah, I know. Think about it. Okay.
So let's move on to a different topic that he received some dings on, and that has to do with the Epstein files. So in this conversation, you're going to hear from a guest that they had on the podcast. His name, or his stage name, is Viva Frey, and he and Vincent Oshana seem to have the same issue in regard to the lack of Epstein file delivery. Let's watch.
It started off strong with pardoning the Jan 6ers and fulfilling a campaign promise to right that wrong in as much as humanly possible. You got RFK in, and you got RFK and Tulsi doing their thing, which is fantastic. On the immigration issue, he's going hard, being stopped by the courts, but going hard nonetheless, and sensitizing America to how serious the problem is and how compromised and weaponized the courts are. Where it gets weak is, I'm gonna focus on the Epstein just because as far as I'm concerned, it's sort of that was a litmus test promise of the campaign, where Pam Bondi illustrating that she's either over her head, unqualified, or there's something more sinister going on, making bold and big promises and then fumbling those and leading to more questions than answers.
I'm with Viva again. I still believe like the accountability matters. And if we're gonna be clean house, you have to clean all of it.
Vinnie, why isn't he an A? Because you just were like, he did this, he did this, he did this.
Because I'm with him. When you promise something to me, and you guys know where I stand when it comes to children and what they've done to children, and you just nailed it. The number one accuser of Epstein, of Ghislaine Maxwell, of Prince Andrew, the last one, she suicided herself.
To answer Viva Frey's question, I think something more sinister is going on. Cenk, what do you think?
Yeah, look, I love that they're obsessed with the Epstein files.
Same, me too.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with it. Okay, why aren't they releasing it? And I wonder if they're ever gonna figure out Trump and RFK Jr. are in the files. Gee, I wonder why they're not releasing it.
That's a suspicion, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, meaning like he's in there, definitely in his phone book, no question. Whether they actually did anything is a different question, to be clear. Thank you for clearing that up, right? So I was gonna say we'll see, actually, we probably won't see, okay? So, but people are beginning to wonder, hey, they claim that that was a suicide with the video missing and the guards missing and the roommate moved out. Now, no rational person believes that, right? So who is powerful enough? What is powerful enough to kill someone inside a maximum security prison in America and get away with it? There is one thing powerful enough. So now that people are asking those questions, you got the right wing going, what the hell? But there's a second thing that's really important about that. And it goes to something that Vinnie said in passing there, right? Which is, wait, if you promised me something and then you don't do it, now I'm a little pissed, right? And think about it, guys. Trump lies like 24/7, but a lot of the right wing believe that he was not lying, that he wasn't lying about anything, right? So now when they see that this is an indisputable lie, they begin to wonder if there are other lies. Thank you.
Yes. That's Jake, that's such a good point, because this is typically how people begin to change their minds, right? They'll catch on to one thing that their preferred party or their preferred politician has not been truthful about. And that will lead to a domino effect. It really does snowball. And so I give them a lot of credit for actually wanting to know the truth, for being grounded in reality. I might not agree with them in regard to wanting Trump to carry out the promises that he made. Certainly not all the promises he made, I don't agree with them. But they wanted those promises to be kept, and they're willing to ding the Trump administration and Trump himself if he's not delivering. Last but not least, here's Patrick Bet-David himself, the big dog, who criticized Trump for making such big promises and failing to deliver.
When you go purely with results, we were told day one, there's gonna be peace with Russia and Ukraine. It's day 100.
There's no peace there.
Of course, they're fighting.
Of course, I thought there was going to be a deal being done there. I thought the mineral deal was going to be gone. It's taken too long. The negotiation with Greenland, we needed that, or we needed Ukraine, or we needed something with minerals. Not done. Panama was supposed to close. Hasn't closed yet. Is America safer than ever before in the last 4 years? Absolutely. It's safer. Border. People are not coming across. Tom Homan's doing his job there. No problem. You got Epstein stuff. People that voted that wanted Epstein. What happened with that? It's not out yet. Are we supposed to forget about it? Fauci. Is there going to be accountability with Fauci? We don't know yet. The trade war, on how chaotic it is right now. Someone's got to close the deal, whoever it is. You threat Iran. If you do this, I'm telling you, Hamas, if you do this, I don't want to see my president keep threatening without being able to deliver on the threats. The more and more you keep saying threat, and nothing's happening, what are we looking at?
Now, look, I don't know if Patrick Bet-David wants the US to go to war with Iran. I definitely do not want that. And if Trump is making those threats, I do not want him to make good on those threats. But I would like him to stop making those threats.
Yeah. I mean, if you claim to be anti-war, you certainly wouldn't want a war with Iran 4 times the size of Iraq.
Right.
So, and if you think Trump's bungled it so far and you're sitting at a C-, wait till you see the grade he gets after he starts a war with Iran. But to be fair, he has not done that yet. And in fact, Netanyahu asked him to, and he said no. And to be fair, look, the same kind of dominoes is at the very, very beginning of happening on the Democratic side, where they were told the Democratic leadership was God's gift to humanity, and they were just all angels, and they were gonna do all these amazing things for you. And then they found out that Joe Biden might be in mental decline, in their mind might, right? And so then some Democratic voters have now started to go, wait, if they were lying about that, and that one was just outrageous, were they lying about other things? Yes, they were lying about other things too. So now to Patrick Bet-David. So he's calling out 2 things there, and then there's his real concern, right? You told me all this day 1 nonsense, right? Before, MAGA would let him get away with all that nonsense. Well, he said day 1, but of course he meant day 1,000 or never. That's okay, it's trolling, it's having fun, yeah, woo wah, right? And you guys don't take him seriously, he's owning you, right? Now all of a sudden they're like, well, brother, you did say day 1, and here we are at day 100. Okay, number 2 is the bluffs. The nonstop bluffs, right? Whether it's war or tariffs, or oh yeah, China's gonna do this and Iran's gonna do that, and I'm gonna get them. But we all know you're bluffing. And so, but what's worse is if you're not bluffing and then you do something really dangerous and stupid, like, hey, be measured, brother, be measured, be president, right? And he doesn't have that capacity. And then finally, here's what PBD is interested in: money, okay? So I'm not saying anything that he doesn't care about policy. I'm not trying to, get on his case about anything. There's 1,000 things we disagree on, right? But he's not unaware of where his interests lie, right?
Of course.
So he told this big long story in that segment about how the stock market costs him a tremendous amount of money, but he doesn't care because he's long on America. So I believe him that he thinks, no, it's okay, the stock market will recover, I'm not gonna panic. I believe him on that, right? Do I believe him that he doesn't care? No, I do not believe him. Okay, I believe he cares deeply. And I believe Dave Portnoy cares deeply. Yep. I believe a lot of these guys who lost millions of dollars care deeply. And that's why they're saying, where's the results? And here's the thing I don't agree with Patrick Bet-David on: tax cuts, right? I don't want another $5 trillion in tax cuts to corporations and the richest people in the world. He does, right? He's like, wait, we were supposed to make money off of this, and now you're telling me I'm losing money. Yeah, but when does it come back around to me making money and America being better off and all of that, right? And so far, hadn't happened yet. They're gonna wait. Let's see how long they wait before that C- either gets solidified or maybe goes down. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.